I chose Edulastic as my digital assessment tool. I've used it for formative assessments, summative assessments, and remediation. Some of those formative assessments look like a short little quiz or an exit slip or even a DMR quiz. Summative assessments could be at the end of a big unit, or it could be our common formative assessment that our school district pushes out through Edulastic. So, this is a platform that our students use regularly because our entire district uses it. There is a free version for it, but since my district uses it for common formative assessments, they actually pay for a subscription. So I have a little bit more capability than some others. But it syncs automatically with your Google Classrooms. So if you look at my dashboard, this is where I'm at when I log into Edulastic, it's synced with my Google account. But on here, each of my class periods are already listed, and I have already synced those students. So there's this little button that says sync, and as long as your classroom is up to date in Google Classroom, it's real time. So just before spring break, I had kids that had transferred into my class from a different school, and I was able to go in and sync so they had the same capabilities as all the other students in my room. I didn't have to wait for a weekly sync. It was real time. So when you're in here, you can create your own tests, or you can clone tests that others have already made and edit them, or you can just use some other assessments from others. Any tests that you make or clone or edit, you can share those with other people as well, which is what we do with our common formative assessments. So if I look in here at tests that have been shared with me, this is a copy of the Q3 CFA. This is the CFA that my students just took right before we went to spring break because we finished up Q3. And I have access to seeing this, and the standards that are in here. I can see what those all are, and I have functionality to clone that or make changes and create my own assessment if I would like. Of course, you don't want to teach to the test, so that's not what the intent of that is. It's just so that you have access to it to give the actual test. These have been shared with me by my teaching partner. This is an exit slip that she created that we used on a unit. We do common assessments throughout the entire school year so that our classrooms are taught very similarly. And we have some good data to kind of look at and collaborate with one another weekly to find best practices and relate how our students are performing by class period as well as grade level throughout the entire year instead of just the quarterly from the district. This hosts like your library here. Every assessment that I have made is housed in here, and you can change it to where it's private or published so that other people can see it. I usually share these just like my co-teacher does with me or my teaching partner. And so we can look back. This was the most recent assessment that we had taken in the classroom. And so in here, you can see all the questions. You can kind of scroll through them. If you want to preview this before you give it to your students or take it yourself, then you can do that. You have the ability to add different features, and I'm going to kind of show you how to create one in a second, or how to find others that are already created. But this is just kind of an overview of what it looks like. What I absolutely love about Edulastic is that it's real time. So when students are in there and working, you can see how they're answering as they answer each individual question, and it gives them feedback at the very end. You can change how that feedback looks, whether it gives them the score right away, whether it tells them which ones are right or wrong. If you're given, a test, you probably aren't going to do that because you don't want them to log back in and share that with their friends. You can change the parameters so that if they've seen the question, when they go back in, they can't see it again. So they can't leave the question and then leave the Edulastic and come back later. You can time it, you can close it, you can pause it. But in here, you can sort by grade level, by subject. All the standards are listed. You can choose the set of standards that you want to create from. You can notate your favorites. So this is something somebody else had made that I used, and I liked it, so I flagged it as a favorite for myself so that I had it. But the entire library shows all of the materials and tests that have been created that are available for me to look at. And you can see there's 66,000 of them. And so if I like it, I can use it, I can clone it, I can edit it, and I can have my students take those same tests as well. And you can kind of see how others are creating content. It's a nice little resource to have, kind of like Teachers Pay Teachers without having to teach.